Good morning, and welcome back to the next episode of Building a Game. I don't remember what I had in mind for this one. I think maybe we're going to get onto having more modern One Piece. Because I think it's a fair point to say our game is a bit rubbish up until... Oopsie daisy. Up until we get to that point. So, where we got to last time, got a piece, you can rotate it, we can move the rotation point around, which we tested by making this square that we kind of rotate about the centre of, so the square, if you look, the square doesn't, that little blue square that doesn't move. And that's kind of enough for something like Tetris, right? So you can now start playing, and you can start filling in gaps, and so can I make a block, a line in there? No, but I can make a line there. Right, it's starting to turn into the game of Tetris. But we only have the one piece. And I think piece creation is going to require a whole load of UI. It's going to take a while to build. But I guess we can build toward it by hard coding in a set of pieces. And then getting things like the show next piece thing working, the randomizing what piece comes up next working, and we can then also, it kind of gives us a target for what we're going to do with that UI, right? I'll know exactly what the outputs need to look like as we go in to start building our editing UI. So that feels reasonable to me. With that said, we currently have a single hard-coded piece here. Right. And it's all very ugly at the minute because pieces just take in Boolean true-false values. That will probably get more complicated. But for now, that works for us. So what is there to say? Game state needs to know what pieces it has. Just drop it in there, pieces. What do we do? Do we just make you a slice of pieces? What do I call my other global buffers? Do I have I think I use buffer. I think I use all caps. Yeah. Buffer and entity count. Is that the way to do this? Alright, let's try piece buffer. Be equal to max pieces 8. Why is that annoyed? Syntax error. I've done that wrong. Add that in Odin. There you go. So, probably sloppy, but we're going to make it global for now. Oh my goodness. And if that causes pain, we will adjust. So game state will have a slice of pieces. Why would I do it this way? Instead of just having the buffer and piece count live on. So I'm kind of thinking it'd be nice for this thing to just know how many the maximum number is, and we avoid the need to ever have to do like memory allocations, because they always just fit. But maybe piece buffer and piece count can just live on state. I think I like that better. So let's go ahead and do max pieces type and piece count. I mean, it could be a uint, but I don't know if we're ever going to be doing maths on it. And I found it's nicer to just make everything signed, so that if you have to do like a minus b plus c, you don't have to be careful about never going negative like you would with unsigned ints. Right. I think we do that. And currently we have the one piece. There must be like an initial game state somewhere, right? To main menu state. I'm out an initial game state. It will go pieces, or piece buffer. Be max pieces. Piece. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. And what do we do then? We'll just make piece 1. And we'll copy it a couple times. Go ahead and say piece 2. Which will be, I don't know, like a little L shape, I guess. True, false. Alright, I think that makes an L shape. Skim for any more, and if I've done that right, 3 by 2. Have it rotate about 0, 0. Did I remember to change the name? I did. Got to put a space between these two though. Right, so then we'll have piece 3. I may have done that in a slightly unsafe way. Let's do it like this. Go like that. Oh, how's the Control C thing work? Can I do it like this? Query replace true with false, and then we can draw. I don't know. Make that one true. Make that one true. Make that one true. Maybe and that one true. Makes this a 3 by 3. And let's have you rotate about 4, 1. Right. So I think I want active piece to be a piece. That doesn't seem what am I saying? That doesn't seem insane. Maybe we just make that false at first. That can be anything. In here, and we go piece 1. Oh my god. Trying to ignore stuff because it's all brackets. That's annoying. I feel like that's being smarter than I want it to be. So we do something like that. Give us some pieces to move between. Right. I guess we then need to find our logic where we check if active piece. No. I guess it's the logic that sets active piece. So the way we're doing this is we make active piece, which is a copy of one of these other things, and then we mutate active piece. So as you're rotating it and moving it around, its bounding box is being updated, its filled grid is being mutated to represent what needs to be shown. And then when it's landed, it's replaced with a fresh copy. Oh, we do it a lot, don't we? So that's where we replace it with the updated piece for moving it around. Game state active piece equals piece. What is this? Spawn a piece if needed. That sounds like what we want. So we are back in main.game. Do a game update that takes in a game state. If we're in a game screen, if you have not lost and you do not have an active piece, we get you an active piece. Which means we're going to need some sort of random number generator to pick a number. Oh, do I know how random numbers work in Odin? I've definitely used them before. Fine if I said I had it at my fingertips, though. Do you know what? Can I just put in a temporary count up here? So game state has active piece. You will go to game state dot piece buffer at count plus equals 1 count modulo equals game state dot piece count. To do replace incrementing with random number generator. But that should work for us, right? So now each time it comes around, we should get ourselves a new piece. We run that. So there's our original piece, and it all works, and we slot them in. Ready, there's our new piece. I've got the bounding box wrong, I think. Okay. But we slot him in, and then there's our other new piece, whose bounding box seems to work. Oh yeah, you can see here as well, like, the intention with the whole, like, weird, like, rotating about not the center stuff. Kind of at play. Let's see if we can clear a line. Ta-da! Right. So that will work for us in multiple pieces. It's going to annoy me that piece 2 has a bad bounding box. I got those the wrong way around. Let's just get in here. I might need to add a immediate drop button sooner rather than later. There you go. That's working more sensibly. Cool. Let's not just start playing. don't know. Should we look up how we do random numbers in Odin? That was quick. A little bit of progress there. I'm going to do a little checkpoint commit in case we aren't happy with how the random stuff comes out, because I'm pretty happy to get back to here. What do I want to say? Work in progress. Iterate through multiple pieces. Right. Do I not have a piece 1 anymore? Stupid. Piece 1. Oh, I do. They're just not in the right order. Ah, whatever. That's all temporary code anyway. So what was I going to do? I was going to go look up Odin RNG. So Odin Math Random? Math Rand. And do you have something nice that's just like a generate int in range? Sorry, I noticed I get a bit vocal fry first thing in the morning, which, again, it's interesting things you notice when you start recording yourself. I'll have a sip of drink, see if that helps it at all. On the coffee this morning rather than the tea. Again, bought a mocha pot for myself for Christmas. Been enjoying it. Int range sounds promising. We have a context random number generator, which is maybe good enough. Do we want to be able to seed it ourselves? I guess you can seed the one in the context though. All right, we're going to not worry about that for now. So probably if you're watching this, you're better at this than I am, but there's a chance you're not. I say better, you know more about this than I do. Obviously, random number generators typically take in a seed value. So if you pass in the same seed value every time, you get the same numbers out every time because they're not truly random, they're pseudo-random. And so if we... in fact, that might end up being worth doing sooner rather than later. So if we see some weird behavior, it might be useful to us to be able to say, what was the seed for that particular thing, so we can run the same version over and over. Similarly, I could imagine, I think thinking ahead slightly, so I put our game designer hat on. Our game's going to be super simple. And I think it'll be very easy to kind of like serialize out your game setup to a string, so you can copy paste that string to a friend, and then they can play the same like tile set as you and the same rules as you. And I think the thing that might be a nice option to have could be, and send them the same seed that I used. So we literally play the same thing, right? And then you can have like a high score against each other. You could imagine having like puzzles as well, where like, I guess puzzles probably wouldn't have an RNG element, but I don't know. Being able to control that random behavior is useful. But for now, we just want to be able to do the thing. So if we ignore that, we don't need to know how the random number generator works because they have a default one on the context, and I just need to pass in a low and a high. So that sounds about as friendly as it could do. Let's go ahead and import that. Core math / rand. Go find our to-do. Get rid of all this. Get rid of these. And we'll do rand.int. Was it int range? Int range? No? You're going to tell me this was only done in a more recent version of Odin? This is what I get for being behind on versions. Or is it going to maybe this require result thing? Or is it just angry at me because I've not finished the thing? Okay, on. Rand int range from naught. Is it inclusive? low is inclusive, high is not inclusive. So that can just be to game state dot piece count. And you're blowing up because it's not declared by rand. Ah, no. Okay. What is declared in this one? Int max. Let's go see what our local version has. This might be a good reason for us to go and update our Odin versions. I think we are a few behind. What do you take? N is less than or equal to 0. Annex. Oh, okay. It does the same thing, but low is 0, and we want low to be 0 anyway. Cool. Let's just go ahead and do that. Alright, nice one, Odin, guys. You've made that as easy as possible. And we get random pieces. There we go. Which means we can sort of start playing the game a little bit, right? I don't know where to put you. Maybe there. Maybe you can start to see what I'm hoping is going to be fun about this is that you can kind of create actually difficult puzzles to solve in the moment by making increasingly horrible sets of pieces. Oh no, I thought that would fit. There we go. Complete a line. Cool. Nice one. Well, they made that much easier than I thought they were going to. I thought we would have to go read a load of docs about how to get a random number generator set up sensibly. Which I'm sure we will eventually, but I won't say there. Randomize next piece. Okay, keeping an eye on the time. I've got ages. Is that even true? That's what I'm thinking. It is a Monday, which means I have work later, so I can't go for hours. Although I never do go for hours. I never seem to have enough time to go for more than an hour or two. So the big unknown is when all the family start getting up. 20 minutes is a bit feeble, though. Are there any other little jobs we could get started on? We got anything in the README? So randomize next piece, rotate next piece are done. Make it prettier, I think, is not a small job. And refactoring sounds boring. I don't think I want to do either of those right now. I think maybe game page layout and show next, and maybe score. This can show next and show score. Right. So score should be pretty trivial. We just need to decide. I guess we need to then have a thing that counts when we clear lines, how many lines you got cleared, so that we can say you get this many points. So yeah, let's do score. So do you want to look up what do you get for points on normal Tetris? I know it scales as you get to like more lines cleared in a go. What is that to do then? I guess probably game state has it. You only care about it while you're in a game, so we'll come in here and we'll say score. Be an int. We'll go find that initial game state. And we will set your score to 0. Which isn't strictly necessary because things are 0 initialized, but I think it makes it easier to... It makes it very explicit as you're reading down the thing. I can imagine a future me looking for where score gets initialized for some reason, and this way I can just search for a use of score and find it. Where do we do our line clearing? That's a question. can't remember. Let's go have a look. We're in main.odin. Probably in a, like, in the main loop. We must do a check. What am I trying to say? So I know that we have a function that says, okay, I'm at position XY. I would like to move to down a position. Do I collide with anything? It returns me a true or false. It must be whatever checks that true or false. So this is set up to get all of our entities in place. No. That's not true. Game handle event. Game handle event is doing our... You want to say it like the... If I press a button, game handle event is handling the fact that that button press happens. I mean, game update. There we go. Automatically lower a piece. Oh, right. Oh my god. It's right where we just were, if I were just looking. And this is it. We have a thing that is counting. That's a thing as well. So we can add levels so that pieces start speeding up. In fact, let me keep a list in the README because as these things come up. So score, do that. Levels, speed up. Breakpoints. I'll say speed up after number of lines cleared. Oh, there was a second thing that went through my head and I've forgotten it. Never mind. Auto drop from one button drop. There we go. Right. So we automatically lower the piece. Check in here if we collided. Deactivate piece. What does deactivate piece do? It checks. Where does logic sit for clearing filled lines? That's interesting. I think deactivate piece might make you lose, even if you cleared lines in a way that should have saved you. That's kind of funny. Okay, that's a bug for later. What are we doing in here? Clear filled lines. Filled line count. Don't remember how this works. For row index, so for each row in the grid, if the row is filled, keep track of that. Then for row index, up to but not including the filled line count. Moved row count. Yeah, okay, I remember this. So we do one pass through the grid to work out what line's been removed, do another pass through the grid, filling in the values for the lines that are left, which is slightly more squirrely than it sounds because you need to know how many lines were cleared below a certain point to know what goes into like line 3, right? If I'm filling in line 3, if nothing was cleared before line 3, then I'm just copying. If one line was cleared before line 3, I need to write line 4. If 2 lines were cleared before line 3, I need to write line 5. This is all kind of read-only code. I didn't write this to be particularly readable. Am I going to suffer for that now? I don't think so, because we've still got filled line counts. When we get down to here, if I go format print line, filled line count, that should be telling me Oh, no, let me go ahead and say if the line count not equals 0. Like that. Right. So we can see here. Oh my god, I'm going to have to actually clear a line to this work. I might go make that 3x3 less terrible. Because I've got nothing I can use to fill that in. Okay, hang on. What was that? That was piece 3. Instead of all this, can you just be true and true, false and false, and these two can be true. That one can be true. That should be easy to fill lines with, shouldn't it? Oh, there we go. Was that so hard, game? There you go, you get one filled line. Don't know if it's easy to fill more than one line with our current piece set. Nope, that gets 1. Damn it. It's the wrong way to get the fill. Ah, I suck. Who wrote this stupid game? Okay, do you know what? It's working, right? We can see it's printing 1 each time we get 1. So let's not get overly distracted. So that is working. We're in here. Update score. Do we have access to game state? We do. What do we do? I'm not even sure. Alright, let's go ahead and say update score. Take a pointer. Is game state already a pointer? It is. Let's go game state. Update store game state and build line count. Update score is a proc. Takes a game state. Takes a filled count. Does nothing with it. And what do I want to say? Switch on filled line count. If the value is greater than piece height. Is there a way in a switch to do... So I know you can do ranges in switch. I don't know if you can do like an unbounded range and just say from this to anything. That might be interesting to know. To your switch statements. There you go. Switch statement without a condition is the same as a switch true. Why do I care for that? This can be used to write a clean and long if-else chain and have the ability to break if needed. Okay. Which statements can also use ranges. I guess it's saying I can do this one. So they just... Foo does not get called if I equals 0. So yeah, it just evaluates this. And if it's true... That's interesting. Is that how switches work in most languages? Should I just write this as if else's? Am I being silly? Alright, let's see what it looks like if I write it in a switch. I go case 1, do a thing. I go game state dot score plus equal something. I don't know. 1. Case 2, game state dot score plus equals 2. Case 3, game state score plus equals 5. Case 4, game state score. We want to really like skew it towards the top, right? So these get very little, but are maybe needed to keep you alive, whereas these are really making you points. And if you can manage this, which RP set currently makes impossible, I think, and you get that. Is there a default case? Do something like that. Or do you have to set like default? There must be a default somewhere. There you go, case blank. Do you show that anywhere? Yeah, case blank. Cool. Cool. Oh, I wanted them split on lines. Is that why the formatting was coming out weird? Cool. Should we go ahead and say in here then? So if filled line count not equal to 0, print your score. And we'll see what comes out. Crash. Why crash? Of all the things I thought might crash. Crash with no info. Did it crash only when I started the game? Oh, that's interesting. What have we done? Switching on this. I mean, we shouldn't be getting into this chunk, right? But this is all we've changed, isn't it? Unless I've accidentally touched some of the file in a way that's broken things. So readme can't be the readme. Game Odin. We've added score. Is our initial thing? No. Mess with our filled pieces. Shouldn't affect it. Update score. Game state filled line count. So confused. This all looks... am I getting this unreachable case? Format print line, boom. I'm totally hitting this unreachable case, aren't I? Yeah. You silly boy. So case 0. Case 6 up to or equal to the max value of a int. Do that. Does that avoid this? Instead of be unreachable, you can call update score. Yeah, it's not inside this thing, is it? Try that again. Thank God for that. So we drop you in there, we get some points. And now we struggle because game is hard. Drop you in there. Drop you in there. Get a point. Right, should we make a slightly less degenerate set of pieces and check that you actually can get more points if you clear more than one line at a go? Oh. Oh, there we go. Okay, we can clear 2 lines here. We should go to 6 points, and we do. Beautiful. Don't you love an easy bit of programming? Let me clear these lines out. I don't know why it's saying there's an error. Oh, it's changed its mind. I guess the good old language server just got out of sync. Cool. And then we can mess with these numbers. I was even thinking it might be fun. I was kind of just dreaming up ways you can kind of mess with Tetris, and this is obviously one of them. So I was like, oh, is it weird if we do something like this? So like you only get points for clearing, you know, like a specific number of lines. So you come up with a set of pieces that make it really easy to hit Tetrises, but actually you only get points if you clear 3. But I don't know. Stuff, I think basically we're going to get the thing working, then we'll start fiddling. Try to see if anything does seem fun. Sorry, let's go back to the README. There we go. We've got a score. Game page layout. Show next and show score. Just trying to do a bit of maths. I've probably got 20 to 30 minutes. I think probably isn't enough time to do that. Is it maybe enough time to do levels? Stage all of this. What have we done? We've added score, but not displayed anywhere. So levels would just be decreasing that ticks per thing, right? Oh, actually not as simple as it sounds. So what I was going to say is we keep a count and we say every time you've cleared, I don't know, 60, 50, 20. Let's say 20. Every time you've cleared 20 lines, we increase the speed. There's probably some maximum speed that we want, right? We could probably do that now. Let's see. I keep hitting the wrong button. Go back into game. Oh my god, we were literally just looking at this chunk of code. In game update. We're in game, spawn a piece, automatically drops. Get that. So, ticks until drop. We're gonna need some long game state. We're gonna need something like how many lines you've cleared. Let's call it level. Lines cleared. And again, initial game state, we'll explicitly set it to 0, so me can grab it easily. Don't know where to put it. I'll put it in here. Lines per level. Make it 20. The game starts really slow, and every time you clear 20 lines, it gets a little bit faster. Right. I need to pay attention to what that function's called, because I can't remember. Game update, is it? There we go. If game update... automatically lower the piece. Ticks until drop, less than 0. Ticks per drop. Yeah, so we've already got that stored. Collided is that. Saying here, clear filled lines. Update your score. And I guess we'll go game state dot level lines cleared plus equals fill line count. Blank. If level lines cleared is greater than or equal to lines per level, we've done a level up. And we would like to then say game state dot level lines cleared resets. Game state dot ticks maximum of 1 to check that we never go negative. And game. We can refine this later, but this is just a dumb way to do this. So I think it starts at 60. So it drops once per second, and then we'll drop that to 50 ticks, 40 ticks, 30 ticks, 20 ticks, 10 ticks, and it just sticks at 1, and pieces drop absurdly fast until you lose. So game state ticks per drop equals that game state dot ticks until drop gets reset to its value here. There we go. And that lets us do level ups. Let's go find our pieces and we'll just make them easier to fill lines with. So you're just going to be a 3x5. You're already a 3x3 and you're an L. That should be alright, shouldn't it? Stick him in there. Stick him in there. Don't know. Stick him in there. Oh, that's funny. I thought I'd make that completely solid. Oh, no. You know what? This might actually be straight up just too hard for me to do. Oh, what happened to you? Have I got a... I think I've got something set up to exit on space. And I think I just hit space on accident. Sure. Save the file. We're in here and I hit space. That was it. I'm going to do that a bunch because I've mentioned before I have a weird keyboard set up. And I've got it set up so if I hold space, convenient buttons become arrow keys. I'm always tempting fate for that one. That's super obnoxious to test because I can't just drop pieces. So I might go and add piece drop on a button press. Also going to make this that little bit easier. So everyone's just solid blocks. So hopefully it's as easy as it can possibly be to actually just fill in lots of lines quickly. Where do we handle button presses? Why am I so bad at this? What is this? Oh yeah, this will level up. Where would it be? Main.odin. Handle game event. You want the ones where you're in a game and you press up. There we go. And you, sir, return a Boolean so if that returns true, we stop. I think that might do it actually. Although it's kind of nasty code. Alright, so we're in here. Nice. I have no way to fill in twos, do I? Oh, I totally did. Okay, whatever. Is that still needed if you do that? It is. Let's do that. So that drops the piece. It would be nice to have that deactivate the piece as well. Which I can do. We're in here. Drop the piece. That feels better. That feels way better. Okay. Let's see. The unfillable one. No. Can I put you in there? Keep forgetting we've got the janky. Oh, I screwed it up. You know what? Can we go make lines per level equal 1 and just see it gets sped up? Then I think we'll call that a day because I think I can hear people are getting up. Please give me a big one. Did it get faster? It doesn't look like it got any faster, does it? Maybe it's faster? It's hard to tell. Oh no, I think it is faster. Oh my god, it's definitely faster. Hey, there we go. And then we lose. Excellent. Have we done something that freezes it up? Alright, problem for another day. Let's get that put back in. I will commit that. And I think that's us done for today. So, what did I actually do in that chunk there? Press up to slam down. And can we quickly go check that the README looks nice? We've now got that. We've now got that. And we'll do one of these next time. Grand. So, that was a nice little bit of progress. Some little bits ticked off. And I'll catch you next time. We'll try and tick off one of the meteor things off our to-do list. Have a good one.